The Misfitz Pre-Alpha 5 playtest has just ended, so you know what that means. We are going to be dunking on the developers. As someone who has collected every single relic, I'm going to be sharing what I think the game needs to have success in the future. First, I want to start off by talking about the core gameplay loop, because after you've been collecting relics for a few hours, things get pretty repetitive even with all the PvP elements. First of all, I think there should be more ways to collect relics. Right now, the best way is to just go for those big chests that spawn a bunch of bots when you try to open them. Those give a guaranteed 3 relics, because they also spawn that mini boss. Or if you're pretty skilled in PvP like myself, I don't mean to brag, but like masters in Brawl Stars, top 1%. But yeah, if you're decent at PvP, I feel like going near extraction and just killing people is the best option, because they're going to be loaded with relics and they pretty much do all the work for you. Bring the relics to you and you can extract. To make each run more interesting, I also have more ideas for the different zero bots. First of all, the boomerang bot. So this bot is interesting because it fires a projectile in this boomerang shape. That's why it's called the boomerang bot. You see? This is going to make gameplay different, because instead of dodging to the sides, you have to like walk towards or further away from it to dodge attacks. So that's going to be pretty unique. The next bot idea I have is the wave bot. So this bot fires a wave of bullets. That's why it's called the wave bot. I'm a genius at coming up with names, what can I say? So pretty much, it's like those game shows where there's a hole in the wall and you have to do like some fancy pose that like perfectly fits into the hole. In Misfitz, it's gonna be like a wave of bullets, but there's like one section of this wall that has a hole in it. To dodge all of the bullets, you just slip into the hole. This last one is actually pretty interesting, okay? A mimic bot. So this bot would be really similar to regular chests, except maybe it's ever so slightly more purple, because, you know, all the zero bots are really purple. If you notice that it's a mimic, you can shoot it, right? And kill it pretty easily to get like a relic or something, because we want more ways to get relics. But if you walk on top of it, thinking that it's a regular chest, then it latches onto you, slows you down, and you basically have to walk around with this mimic latched onto you. It's like biting you. You have to get it off by having someone else shoot at you. I don't know how good it would be for the new players, but it would be funny, and that's all that matters, right? Hell yeah. Another thing that I think would make getting relics more interesting is changing the variety of extraction zones. So right now, extraction zones are really exciting, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun. I think it could even be better. Imagine you have a really tiny zone and there are like 4 people trying to extract. You would have to be really aggressive with like trying to contest this tiny zone and extract. On the other hand, if you have a massive zone the size of the Nexus, right? You could have like 4 teams trying to extract at the same time with their own little territories. We would have to probably make smaller zones have a faster extraction time, while larger zones have a slower extraction, because, you know, you have so much more room to work with. I also have some ideas for increasing the social interactions that people have when in game. I wanted to talk about this because Kairos just released a video about it. My first idea got inspiration from Roblox games, okay? So basically there are 2 pressure plates. When 2 players stand on them, they get chained together. So when they try to move around, they have to coordinate their movement. Otherwise, let's say they move in opposite directions, then it'll be comical. They'll just not move at all. They'll be stuck because there's the chain connecting them, right? The reward for this, what could make this interesting, is that there could be like a looped box in the middle of this chain, but they can't open this loot box unless they both extract while this chain is on them. My next idea is with the world boss, because I kept hearing that the developers were trying to make the world boss difficult to fight so that you would require teamwork to take this thing down, but you can cheese this thing really easily with like Beats Ultimate or just poke at it with Shade. I also wanted an excuse to include this clip in the video because look at this gloss. He really thinks he can take me on. Get out of here. This is probably a terrible idea. The bot has crazy super fast regeneration. So like a second after you attack this thing, it starts healing back up again. One player physically cannot take this thing out by himself. You need other people firing it at the same time. And if you don't all focus on this bot, then you can't get the loot from it. That sounds good in theory, but in reality, people would probably find a way around it, so I'm not really sure. Oh my god, it's so bright. Just like Misfit's future if they add this next feature, a fighting ring. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. Pretty much, it's an area where if 2 people enter it, a fight starts. And what this does is it seals the area off no other people can enter this zone or shoot into it during a fight. And for this fight to be over, one of those players have to die. You're probably thinking there isn't much social interaction. What if they add gambling to Misfitz? Just imagine this, 2 people fighting it out while there's a stand of people on the sidelines that have bet their relics on this fight. Let's talk about the new physics and interactable objects. I really love the falling mechanic, it's great. And I hope they expand on that in the future so there are more ways to traverse the map. I think something that fell short was the movable objects, all these new movable objects. You can now move around dumpsters, boxes, barrels, but the problem is they all do the same thing effectively. You shoot at them a couple times and they go poof, they explode. Maybe you can use it to charge your super a bit. I think that they should have more unique mechanics. For example, the shelf. Maybe it's unbreakable. You could use it to become a moving fortress. That sounds kind of insane when I say it like that, but maybe you could use boxes and dumpsters to hide in. Like you could jump into them, and then when someone's nearby, you could use it to ambush. The vending machine. I think this is a huge opportunity for power-ups to be purchasable in-game. You know, you walk up to it, insert a bunch of coins, and then you get to choose a power-up that you want. That could be huge because certain characters have really good synergy with certain power-ups. Golf cart things, forklifts, it could be like a projectile in a way, like you could push it, and then it could run into a player and like explode, detonate if it hits them. That would be pretty hilarious. Basically exploding barrel on wheels. Holy crap. The portal system, oh boy, this thing definitely needs a rework. But I think a simple fix would be to make it so that going up to the portal and pressing the join button would send a join request to that person actually in the map. That way, you don't just join them no matter what, you have to wait until they accept you, then you can join. So if I have a friend named Ege, for example, that I know likes griefing me, then I can deny that request so he never gets to join and take my mythic gear. If Cinder Raider on the other hand wants to join me, I'll instantly accept that because I know that he's just not a threat, right? He's not gonna kill me. I think the revenge mechanic also needs to be reworked. I often find myself spawning on the other side of the map, and before I can get to my target, they're already extracted. I don't know, it doesn't seem the most useful when they can extract so fast in Misfitz. And when the revenge target extracts or dies, I believe the marker just disappears without any other indicator. Same thing happens if they go onto your screen and then go off your screen, the marker disappears. So I definitely think there should be some sort of indicator in the UI, and maybe their name, like when they show up on your screen, I think their name tag should be highlighted in some way, because I'm not remembering anyone's names, especially like if it's a random person that kills me, I'm not going to remember their name. On the topic of the UI, I think opening relics in the lobby could use some visual indicators. It should show what misfit the relic I'm opening is for. So that way, if I extract 2 relics with Rush, and then I extract 3 relics with Ray, I won't be confused when I go to the relic decoder with like Gloss, and then I don't get any progression. If I'm opening 1 relic, it should show this is a Rush relic, and then it should show like the progression. I got 1 relic towards my Rush affinity progression, something like that. Basically, just be more transparent with the player as to what character they're opening the relic for. Does that make sense? I really hope it does. I also want to talk about skill trees. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I really do not like the change where some of the upgrades are just blanked out. I enjoy theory crafting weird builds, but I can't do it properly when I can't see the full skill tree because I don't have all the abilities memorized. And I think that's, you know, pretty normal. Not everyone is gonna remember all these abilities. Blocking out these upgrades is definitely good because it'll help some players understand that you can actually upgrade like pretty far up the skill tree. What you see at the start isn't all that you get. I think that we could have a compromise, like maybe we could have the current system, but once you unlock an ability, you can see all the abilities up to that ability. Otherwise, you can't see what the abilities do unless you have like an old screenshot or you go to the Misfitz wiki. The next idea is pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure this idea would make PvP players even more PvP crazy, but I'm gonna suggest it anyways just because I like the sound of it. I think it sounds cool. So this is inspired by Minecraft servers where killing a player will drop their head as a trophy. But in Misfitz, how this could work is you take someone's armor when you kill them, and it could show the previous owner's name in the item description. Let's imagine a hypothetical situation where I kill Brees. Is that actually how you say it? from the Antihero dev team. He would drop his common gear because that's the best gear that he has, and then it would say original owner, Brees. And then I could use this as like a flex on everyone that, wow, I killed a Misfitz CEO, I'm so cool. This is probably a lot harder to develop than it sounds. Honestly, I'm only suggesting this because I just love collecting things. I have an old collection of gift cards and old hotel room cards that I wasn't supposed to take. Look at this for a sec though. Look at this Walmart card. Isn't that cool? I have like a Genshin Impact card from when I visited China. Ooh, this one is really cool. Starbucks gift card. But this is from I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's from 2013. This is like some vintage stuff. This penguin is also a gift card from Walmart. This one has like a cool texture on it. It feels like metallic almost. But most importantly, if you guys implement one thing in the next update, please make the balls not go out of bounds. How am I supposed to enjoy the game when I can't even touch balls in Misfitz? There are a ton of other people that give feedback, so I don't know if this video was that helpful, but if it inspired some ideas, drop them in the comments or share them on Discord. I'm sure the developers would appreciate that. See you next time!